Hello again. We are going to address in this episode in depth what Section 72E of the Internal Revenue Code means and how it came about and why it's a sacred cow and how you can take advantage of it so you can have tax-free accumulation of your hard-earned money. Section 72E was designed to be able to help or benefit those people who took ownership to provide for their own families, whether they live or die. So what does it mean? I'm going to dive into the portion that really relates to tax-free accumulation of money, whether you're earning money with interest or dividends. And so the place that we're looking at here is in max-funded life insurance contracts, which is what E.F. Hutton, who was a brokerage firm, they're sort of credited with being the brainchild behind the insurance policy that was used more for living benefits instead of just the death benefit. So under Section 72E, it says that any money that is inside the insurance contract, this is whole life or universal life, permanent life insurance, that when it grows with interest or dividends, you do not have to pay tax on that, because why would they penalize people who are trying to be responsible and accountable, take ownership for their future, so that if I passed away and I left behind a life insurance death benefit to my widow for my children, this is so that they do not have to be dependent upon the government or go on welfare. And so the government said, you know what, we need to incentivize people to take ownership so that they don't come to us. Therefore, let's not tax any of the inside buildup or growth on that cash value. Now, it was E.F. Hutton back in 1980 that said, wow, you know, we've been always looking at this maybe the wrong way. Section 72E says it will grow tax-free. Well, that was back in an era where Hutton was trying to earn average rates of return, maybe in 9, 10, 11, 12% rates of return. But the metaphor that I use is like playing red light, green light. And so if you're going up and back in the market, taking maybe 12, 15, 20 steps forward or 20% gain in some years, and then you have to take steps back when the market crashes, Hutton said, you know, some people just don't want to go through those gyrations in the market. So why don't we just have a more predictable rate of return and we don't have to go out and risk their money so much, and we can earn a rate of return. Back in 1980, interest rates were high, and so let's earn 11 instead of trying to earn 15, because if you earn 15% in a tax-deferred IRA or 401k, you're only netting maybe 10%. And so you're taking 15 forward steps, 5 steps back in tax. Or if you earn 12%, you're taking 12 steps forward, 4 steps back in tax at the end of the day, and maybe another step back in fees. People had to earn 12 to net 7. They had to earn 15 to net 9. E.F. Hutton said, hey, 72E says it grows tax-free. Let's put it in a more conservative portfolio in the multi-trillion-dollar insurance industry, where they don't put money out in the market. Very little of their money is in stocks. Their money is in AAA and AA bonds. If they loan money out on a skyscraper or a shopping mall, they loan only about 50 to 60% loan to value. They don't take risks, but they're able to earn a rate of return back then of around 11 3/4 to 15.5% is what I earned from 1980 to 1990. Let's just drop it down to 11. So because of 72E, my money would earn 11%. One of those percentage points paid for the insurance that under Section 72E said it had to be there or it wouldn't be tax-free. Again, why is it tax-free? Because the life insurance will blossom when I die and transfer. And so they want to make sure that I have the greatest chance of having life insurance in force when I ultimately die. Well, when I was 30 and my wife and I had 6 children, if I wanted $3 million of life insurance and I just want to protect myself if I was going to pass away, I'm trying to get the most insurance for the least premium, the cheapest premium. Hutton changed all that because of 72E. They said, wait a minute, why don't we flip it? Why don't we take the least amount of insurance the IRS will let us get away with and put in the most money the IRS will allow, and it will turn into a cash cow. And that's because under 72E, we're putting in way more than the actual cost of the insurance, because the money we put in there, when it grows at 11, we're netting 10, because the cost of the insurance is only draining out 1 percentage point, and it's tax-free. If it does not fall under the definition in the Internal Revenue Code under these 3 sections, then it will not be tax-free. It moves over to another section where they tax you. Those are taxable investments. And most investments are volatile. So I don't want the volatility. I don't want to pay the tax. And E.F. Hutton said, hey, 72E is our hero. We're going to accumulate our money tax-free. And I'm going to share in other episodes how you can access and transfer the money tax-free. So let me tell a story to illustrate the power behind tax-free accumulation. In other episodes, I talk about how $1 doubling every period for 20 periods will have the potential to grow to $1 million if it's tax-free. So back in 1980, when I had about 3,000 clients in the market and I was trying to earn an average return of 12%, actually doing a pretty good job, I realized at the end of the day, they're going through volatility, and if they earn 12, they're only netting 8% after tax, and if they have to pay broker-dealer concessions or fees, they're only netting 7. Well, my clients were never happier than when I got them out of the market. I linked their returns to the market, but they got rid of the market volatility, and they were able to average 11, a little over 11%, and net 10. Now, some years they earned 15 and netted 14. I remember many couples that had saved their entire lifetimes, okay? One in particular, they had $500,000. So they put in $500,000 back in 1980. Now, they're earning 11 3/4, 15, let's say 11. So 11% on that $500,000, after the cost of the insurance, which was one of those percentage points, they were netting 10. What's 10% of 500,000? 50,000. Because of Section 72E, that was growing tax-free. Now, let's say they don't even need the income. Now, if you're earning something like 10%, 10 divided into the rule of 72, and if you don't know what that is, I have another episode on that. That means your money will double every 7.2 years. So $500,000 grew to $1 million, doubled in 7.2 years. In another 7.2 years, let's just round it to 15, the million doubled to 2 million. Guess what happened the next 7.5 years? It doubled to 4 million, and the next 7.5 years it doubled to 8 million. So 500,000 to 1 million, 2 million, 4 million, 8 million. This is the true story. This couple has $8 million now in their nest egg that grew totally tax-free because of Section 72E. Now, I want you to watch a video about 7702 because you'll realize that $8 million nest egg at 10% in a payout would allow you to experience $800,000 a year of tax-free income into perpetuity versus an IRA or 401k. You wouldn't even have that much money because you have to pay tax on the money when you take it out. So the power of 72E for many, many people is that they're able to accumulate their money tax-free. It's a sacred cow. But then they can use it and access the money tax-free. So I want you to watch this video to be able to understand that, and also be able to understand how you can learn more about how you can apply this in your set of circumstances.